I was about 19 years old, and I answered an ad in the paper to be an apprentice cabinet maker. So I got the job. Now the boss guy was kind of a suit and tie type of guy, you know, a businessman. He'd be in the office there drawing up plans, making bids, answering the phone. And out on the floor, there was old Charlie. He'd swept the floor and drove the truck, deliveries. Guy named, I think his name was Walt, that ran a lot of the big machinery. But then there was a guy named John Dugan. He was the foreman of the whole thing. Now, all the other guys, they were the kind of guys, if you gave them a list of what to cut, boards to cut, they'd come back and it'd be perfect. I mean, it would just be right on the money, just what you wrote on the list. But they were, the kind of guy that, couldn't quite make up the list. So John Dugan, he was teaching me how to write the list, And so I thought I was getting on pretty good. And after about a year and a half, our buddy John, he decided he wanted to be a pig farmer full time up there near Holden, north of Topeka. And so he quit. Well, the boss man, the suit and tie guy, he's kind of looking me over, deciding whether, am I foreman material or not, and he's got to hire somebody else. And so nothing was really said, but this is kind of what was going on at the time. And so in those days, there was a construction company that had a contract to take care of all the whatever problems there were at the State House. We won't ask how they got that contract. But at any rate, it was a big Topeka construction company, and so there was a painter that worked for that company. He was always bringing stuff in, a door that needed to be fixed, or a piece of trim, or something to match this and match that. And so he shows up at noontime. Well, the boss, he went home for lunch. So now our lunch, he goes home. Of course, the rest of us are over here with a half hour for lunch, eating out of a sack. So this painter shows up. And so I'm thinking to myself, I got to show the boss what I'm made of. I got to show him that I am foreman material. So I was saunter out there, and I tell that painter, I said, well, how can we help you? I'm going to show the boss while he's gone, I can take care of things. And the painter says, well, I have this desktop, and I need to have you run it through the drum sander before I refinish it. And I look at it, I said, fine, let's put it on this cart. Put it on a cart, we wheel it around, clear around the other side of the shop. Now the drum sander, it is a big-ass machine. It is, big like a grand piano, except solid metal clear to the ground. And it's got this great big iron wheel, and you crank that a wheel, you're just cranking that a wheel, and the gauge goes to set the thickness. Now it's got rollers that pulls the material through, and drums underneath just away in different ways. So it's sanded on the bottom just as smooth when you get around the other side as can be. And so I measure that desktop, I measure it, and I go over and I'm a-cranking on that thing, and I get it just right there. And then I give a little nudge. John Dugan has showed me to give it a little extra, So at any rate, we walk around, the painter and I, we walk around the other side of the big drum sander. Now the drum sander is a wonderful machine. Unless what you're sanding is a thin veneer. Oh my God, we turned it over and look what I've done. Look what I did. I have ruined that beautiful desktop by sanding right through the veneer. Oh my God, now I got to go and tell the boss when he gets back from lunch. I was doomed. Now, I'll give you one guess, and one guess only. Whose desktop from the state capital of the great state of Kansas do you suppose I had just screwed up? That's right. I totally screwed up the governor's desk of Kansas. Every time I hear in the news media that another bill is passed over the governor's desk, another bill that hurts the people of Kansas and enriches the Koch brothers, all I can do is remember that it's on a very, very thin veneer. I know, 'cause I put it there.